Yo, what's going on YouTube? It's DLloyd. So one of the biggest, I would say, updates ever just dropped today for EA Sports College Football 25. A lot of Dynasty Mode fixes, a lot of stuff that got nerfed and changed when it comes to regular gameplay, and Road to Glory fixes as well. So without further ado, we can go ahead and jump right into it because there is a ton of stuff that we need to go over here today. So we're going to get straight into it. We're never going to read this whole section right here. It's fine. We know there's a lot of stuff that wanted to be, that needed to be addressed, and there has been. So gameplay, they included 8 new shotgun formations for a total of 35 teams. Bunch quad open, known as diamond quads, has been added to Texas Tech and Western Michigan. Deuce twin over has been added to Buffalo and Toledo. Slot F wing has been added to North Carolina State and Liberty. Split pro far has been added to North Carolina State and Liberty. Split pro near has been added to North Carolina State. Tight wide off flex has been added to Florida. Wing halfback weak close has been added to Indiana and Minnesota. And wing slot over has been added to Texas A&M and Kansas State. So a few more formations added out there. What I will say, because I'm not sure they talked about it here, obviously you guys know I'm doing the UNLV Dynasty. They changed the names of those formations to Duo, from Duo to Go-Go, which is known as the Go-Go offense. So now if you're looking for those Duo formations, they are called Go-Go, at least in the actual UNLV playbook. I'm not sure if you're trying to make it custom, if they're different, but that has been changed. It's something I did notice today myself. They also tuned and made logic enhancements to pursuit angles, introducing new behavior that further differentiates players with high pursuit ratings versus lower pursuit ratings. Now, pursuit angles has been one of the worst parts of this game. I think everybody could agree with that defensively. Now, I have noticed even in the past that if you have a high pursuit angle, it's not that bad. Most players didn't really have good pursuit angles, but regardless, they could have been better just in general. So them touching that up is big. So they said they're going to monitor the feedback and see how that changes, but pursuit angles has been fixed. Reduced frequency of broken tackles from trailing defenders. That is big because tackling's already hard, but we've all been there trying to, tackle that guy running into the end zone, and all of a sudden he's just breaking everything. So trailing defenders have at least a little bit of a better chance trying to make a tackle. They fixed various instances of rare broken play bugs. I'm not really too sure about that one. Fixed issue where certain formations had offensive players aligned too wide when the near or far hash. I personally haven't ran into that issue, but it's good that it is fixed. Fixed an issue where you cannot use the 4-2-5 or 3-3-5 formations in a custom playbook. Fix an issue where single back formations would be assigned the wrong name when creating a custom playbook. I haven't dabbled with customs too much, so a lot of these I'm not even aware of, to be honest. The only time I try to get into custom playbook, I sat there for like 2 hours trying to make it, and then it would not let me save it. So after that, I pretty much been out on customs. Fix an issue where single back formations would be assigned the wrong. I just talked about that. What am I doing? Fix an issue where spiking the ball online in online modes was not working as part of the turbo tempo system. I mean, I never try to spike it using turbo, but cool. Fix an issue so a speed option running back will follow the quarterback longer. I think this is a big one. I was having this issue. You'll probably see it actually in the next UNLV video where I'm trying to pitch the ball and it's not allowing me to pitch the ball because my running back is just kind of just running away. Like, what's going on? So that is a nice little adjustment there. Adjusted AI QB behavior on shot plays to make more lob throws versus bullet passes. Adjusted AI QB behavior to be less aggressive based on awareness ratings. Adjusted AI offensive line behavior resulting in less illegal man downfield penalties during RPO style plays. I will say this. One of my favorite playbooks in the game is Wake Forest slow mesh system. It's a very slow RPO. I call it a pro, right? Because you're looking to actually pass and then run instead of run pass. It's a pass run option when you look at it really from how Wake Forest likes to run the mesh or the slow mesh, right? But almost every time you do it, you have a deep post or you have, two in routes. If you wait too long, it's going to be an illegal man downfield. Now, it is still there. I have tested it out. It is still there, but you do get a little bit more time because what was happening before, it was pretty much a roll of the dice, whether or not you'll get a legal man downfield. And it kind of defeated the purpose of the offense. The purpose of the offense is gimmicky. It's to take forever to carry out this play fake and either throw it deep or hand the ball off, but you can't be downfield. You can't be downfield because it literally defeated the purpose of that. So this being worked on is definitely huge. Adjusted the DB's ability to more effectively shed blocks on the perimeter, increase the speed penalty of running out of stamina during a play. QB scrambles behind the line of scrimmage will lose stamina at a faster rate. This is definitely good. People ran around, but I didn't think it was that bad. Maybe it has been. Fix an exploit where players will leave a QB contained player unblocked and run around them. They said they're going to make further improvements in QB contain in a future title update. I've heard the QB contain is already better with this update currently. I have not tested it, but I have heard that. I'm more of a QB spy type of guy than running contains. But hey, if it's better, I'm not going to complain about that, right? Increase the reward players receive for shading inside or outside correctly in man coverage versus passing routes. That's big. We've all been there where you shade inside and you still get beat inside, or you shade outside and you still get beat on the post or the out route. So guessing correctly should be good. I also like, I would increase the penalty for guessing wrong, but I like that there. Adjust the false start chances when you make pre-play adjustments late in the play clock. I heard they kind of nerfed that a little bit, so it's not as many of the false start chances. Fix an issue where run fit defenders were not responding effectively to Wildcat run plays. And I think this is where generally you're going to see the Wildcat nerfed because Wildcat was crazy. Made an adjustment to the Wildcat unbalanced motion zone play. This play right here, really Wildcat unbalanced because they had the little flea flicker thing. But that play, the motion zone, I just had like an 80-yard touchdown with it like a couple days ago. That play was crazy effective. Way too effective. I like Wildcat, but it's not that good. Come on. It's 2024. It's not 2008 where defenses don't know what to do against Wildcat. So that being nerfed a little bit, definitely cool to see. Adjusted the threshold required to receive the most effective juke and spin moves. We've seen how crazy they were. It made the games fun at times, and sometimes it just made it like you can't tackle some of these players. Adjust the press animation to be more effective to counter the takeoff ability. I'm fine with takeoff ability being great. We just need pressing in general, like in Madden and we need pressing to just be a little bit more effective if you have the guy that has the strength and the pressing, ratings. I'm not saying everybody should be able to just get up and jam the receiver, but you have guys that can get up in receivers' faces and you see press in the game, you just send them on a deep route because 90% of the time you're going to get free and you're going to be running down the field. So that being adjusted, definitely cool to see. They also updated the pass protection mechanic to only include the running back in the protection if they are already on a block or block and release assignment. Currently, if you did any adjustments, it will block the running back. Even if he was on a swing or any other type of route, it will block the running back. Abilities. So we have ability changes. Updated the coloring of platinum tier abilities to further distinct the look versus silver abilities. Right now, that was always hard. So it was kind of gold and bronze, to be honest, but it was always kind of hard. I always looked for like the little white glimmer, like the white shine, because that showed that it was platinum instead of silver. But it was you had to kind of look at it and be like, oh, I think that's platinum, but I'm not sure. I don't know why they didn't just steal it from 2K and just go with like purple and say, yay, that's the top. But it's fine because they want to be different. Rebalance the gold and platinum tiers of the juke and spin abilities like 360 and side steps. So that has been nerfed. They have rebalanced the platinum tier of extender ability, which includes not firing a QB design run plays. Oh, it was not working on QB design run plays. All right. So now you'll get that ability. Slightly rebalance the effectiveness of the gold and platinum tiers of quick jump ability. Additionally, we made adjustments to the tier levels found on the Texas front seven. Quick jump is probably the best blitzing or D-line ability because it allows you to get off. I mean, when I was using James Pierce Jr., I could get double teamed, and because of his quick jump ability, I would just outrun the double team. If you have a nickel that's coming in on the blitz, he has quick jump that give you a pretty good chance there too. So nerfing that a little bit, or I think they're nerfing it, but making that adjustment, I'm fine with that. All right, now we get into Dynasty mode because, of course, I was trying to wait until this patch to drop Dynasty. But we finally get some Dynasty mode updates, and here we go. So the main one, so we can start my big 32-man online Dynasty that I'm in. They fixed an issue where players were unable to have more than 20 created coaches at one time in the online Dynasty League. That is what stopped a lot of 32-man dynasties from starting. You could only have 20 created, and then 12 would have to use already in the game coaches, which gave you an advantage when it came to, you know, your abilities from your coaching tree, right? Because you were already an established coach. Various fixes around the score summaries and box scores. I know when you would go through and maybe I switched teams and then went to receiving, it might still show rushing or quarterback stats. So having that fix is fine. Various fixes into news stories. I don't know what the issue was there. Introduce a new playoff bracket screen. I have seen that. There's more of a list style instead of both sides being filled out. I don't understand why they needed to switch that, but it has been fixed. Updated Texas and Oklahoma rivalry data. So I'm guessing that was wrong. This one was pretty funny. Discovered that FCS Southeast, Midwest, and Northwest were secretly using professional players and passing them off as collegiate players, gave them sanctions, and assured that they are now using properly rated players. For this change to go into effect, you will need to create a new dynasty. Now, I'm pretty sure, because it was a joke for the first couple of days, everybody has played FCS, and FCS is some dogs. Like, FCS is a solid team. Only issue is everybody gets hurt. Like, you will have like 20 injuries for FCS players in those games, but they started very strong because they were very good players. But it seems like now they want to be trash. So there you go. They fixed an issue of wear and tear did not recover for FCS teams, resulting in a high number of FCS team injuries during gameplay. Exactly what we just talked about. Reduced dynamic attendance penalties for playing FCS teams. I didn't know you had a attendance penalty for playing FCS, but there you go. That has been reduced. Increased dynamic attendance for rivalry games, so they should be more packed and more fans should be showing up to those games. Return toughest place to play formula to reduce the impact that large stadiums have on toughest places to play and increase the value of filling the stadium and winning games at home historically. So they just changed the formula there, reduce the impact of raw crowd size, increase impact of historical win rate, and increase impact of attendance rate. So now they're going to be more looking at how many fans are there, if it's sold out, if it's 70%, 60%, and how well you win at home. I thought that was what they always went off of, but apparently they changed it, and now they are changing it back. Updated the right-hand panel of the stadium atmosphere grade on the My Screen to accurately reflect the toughest places to play at all times. So we don't have the toughest places to play, like top 25, like we used to have, where you can look at it in the menu. Just go to the stadium atmosphere grade on the My School screen, and there you will see the toughest places to play. Still a weird workaround, but at least you can kind of see it. They increase the accumulation of prize stickers, particularly for defensive players and offensive linemen. Reduce the chance to transfer penalty for players rated below 90 overall. So I'm not sure what this means. Reduce the chance to transfer penalty. So I guess you less likely for a player under 90 to transfer, which fine. I mean, I know personally, I had a 99 speed receiver. We won the national championship. He actually made the game winning catch in the national championship game. But he transferred. It was weird. He just transferred. So it was like, okay, we had one last run, and that was pretty much it. Updated coach talents on Wyoming offensive coordinator. I don't know what was going on with Wyoming's offensive coordinator, but in order for this change to go into effect, you need to create a new dynasty. Defensive and playbooks have been changed. So once again, you need to make a new dynasty. But USC, UCLA, Mississippi State, Texas Tech, UConn, Miami, Memphis, Nevada, North Carolina, Notre Dame, Oregon State, San Jose State, TCU, Texas A&M, Troy, and UMass. There you go. They have some changes. Updating your coach's playbook and schemes and playbooks will now update your team scheme and should be reflected in team needs. Now, I do need to say this as well, because that is big that you can actually, change it so you can get the team needs based off of your new scheme. Because right now it's pretty much stuck. Whatever you pick at the beginning is pretty much it. So I'm going to go ahead and read this tweet for you, because this was from Mills. And this is going to be very important here. Do not edit your scheme/playbook in Dynasty. You can update them with Edit Coach, but there is a bug currently that will edit your roster if you use the scheme/playbook. EA is aware and working on a fix, but in the meantime, spread for awareness. So, yes, technically, this works, but be aware it will edit your roster. So, you will want to go into the Edit Coach screen and change your playbook there. Don't change it in the schemes and playbook menu for now. So keep that in mind. That is a big issue. Because of course you don't want I don't know if it makes your team better or worse, but you don't want your roster being edited. So definitely watch out for that one. But they did fix an issue where offensive linemen would appear in the preseason Heisman watch in future seasons. I have not seen that. But why can't a left guard win the Heisman, bro? Like, we got to get love to the O-line, bro. Why not? Updated the Heisman watch logic to reduce the value of receiving touchdowns. I'm not going to lie. The Heisman logic and just the award logics in general haven't really made sense to me. But maybe that's why receiving touchdowns were pretty much king. They just didn't make sense to me. I will see running backs on there, and they will have 900 yards, and they will be winning Heisman. So, that is cool that is changed. All right, now we're getting into recruiting stuff. So the dev note is our primary goal for this update was to remove most of the recruiting strategies that were discovered during early access and to smooth out the pain points our players were reporting. Recruiting is a delicate balance as we want to try to make things as realistic as possible while also allowing players to live out their football fantasies. With that in mind, we decided to introduce additional recruiting logic and balance changes. I just want to say real quick, that is always going to be the problem. And it's not a problem where it's negative, but like the problem where people on both sides are never going to see eye to eye. People have to remember, people want games to be very realistic. Some people just want it to be a video game. They want it to be fun. And you're always going to have to strike that perfect blend, that perfect balance, right? Because some people just don't want to be a 1-star school or 2-star school and your team just never gets better, right? It just never happens. But then some people don't want to be able to get 4 or 5 stars from said 1-star school. So EA is always going to be fighting the battle. Any sports game is always going to be fighting that battle between realism and it being a video game and people wanting to have fun. So, potentially allowing in the future different settings. We had difficulty or maybe simulation or balance type of settings for that could be solved, or the solution, but then that's probably a ton of coding as well. There are different types of styles there. So just throwing in my 2 cents about that dev note. But regarding the updates to recruiting, they fixed an issue where teams were pursuing too many quarterbacks in high school recruiting. They reduced the number of unrecruited 4 and 5 stars early in the season. I never understood that one, so I'm glad that it's there. If you're a 4 or 5 star, I feel like you should automatically be recruited. Like, they should force a scholarship off. Bro, there's no 4 or 5 star guys that are not getting recruited. Like, maybe 2-star guys that are not being recruited. Maybe 3 stars. But 4 or 5, like saying, hey, man, I found this 4 star just hitting What, bro? You a top 200 player in the country. You're not hitting, bro. Like that. That's not a. I just happened to stumble upon him. Like maybe he could be a gem, but bro, he's getting recruited. You know what I mean? So I never understood how you can just go through, and sometimes you can see top 10 guys or top 100 guys not being recruited. You go through around week 3 now, look at scholarship, and be like, oh, these guys don't have scholarships. Let me go ahead and recruit them. So I'm happy that they reduced that number, but they should just that should just not happen. Like, it shouldn't be reduced. It just shouldn't happen, in my opinion. Increase the number of players that the AI will pursue at one time. So I don't know what they're currently doing or how many they're going after, but they have increased it. The above changes strive to decrease the number of players that go unrecruited until late in the cycle, while also slightly reducing how aggressive the AI could be with those recruits once they start to recruit them. Our goal is to deliver a fun but balanced recruiting experience that feels rewarding to all players. We will monitor the impacts these changes have on the overall recruiting experience and continue to adjust as needed. They also said nothing about restarting your dynasty, so I'm assuming all of this will pretty much take effect in any existing dynasty. What I would assume, though, is, of course, for the recruiting class, you may have to wait until the next season in that dynasty for it to apply. But maybe they just, all the unrecruited 4-stars, you go and advance the week and they're recruited now. I don't know, but I'm assuming you would have to wait at least a season. Visits, here we go. So they fixed an issue where you cannot schedule visits for recruits in certain situations. That's cool. They also fixed an issue where visits remain scheduled even if a recruit was removed from a board. Fixed an issue where the allowed number of visits scheduled each week to exceed 4. I forgot that was a thing. I was definitely bringing in more than 4 players on a visit in a given week. So I forgot that was a thing. So I'm glad that is back. I'm glad that I can actually schedule guys, because all of that, you have to wait till the top 5. Like, bro, they're in the top 3. Like, I need to bring them in. I've lost players because of that glitch. Tune visit influence effects. So they removed initial influence when scheduling a visit. I didn't know you got influence for just scheduling, but they removed that. They increased the disparity between winning and losing a game during a visit. Tune the logic for game stakes to better account for ranked teams. And then increase the penalty for choosing a visit activity that the team does not have a high grade in or the player is not interested in. All of that sounds good. Super Sim, they increased handoff rate for simulated RPOs to increase the number of running plays across the country, especially for teams with a lot of RPOs in their playbook. They also various tuning fixes to increase the gap between good and bad teams/players. Then the dev note for that is, we are going to continue to monitor the simulation results to ensure that teams and players are performing within expected ranges, including reducing frequency of upsets based on the preseason projections and expected win totals. I think that's big, because simulating games now, I mean, no disrespect to Vandy, but like Vandy knocked off Texas. I think Texas was like number 1 in the country in ours. They like beat them handily. So of course that happens from time to time, but you've seen Ohio State fall out of the top 25 in season 1. Like, we know how good that team is. Yes, they might lose a few games, maybe if that, but they're not dropping 5 or 6. Like, that's not happening, man. So I am happy that has been fixed. Polls, increase the loss penalty for schools with more than 1 loss. Increase the weighing of conference prestige in the poll calculations. That's big. They also reduced the variance of college football playoff poll logic versus media/coaches. So it should be a little bit more all in one, instead of one being, you're ranked number 2, other one you're ranked 10, Dev note, as with other systems mentioned above, we will continue to monitor the poll system to ensure that it strikes a balance between realism and reward for player success. So the polls being changed, that's a good thing, especially when it comes to college football playoff, the Sims stats, and the Sim win losses. That's big. They also custom conferences / custom schedules. They will continue to monitor feedback on custom conferences and scheduling based on the feedback, and continue to make adjustments in future title updates. So they fixed an issue in conference rules where divisions were changed to off, even if the divisions were previously turned on. Fixed an issue where the independence tab disappeared when removing all teams from independence. That's crazy. Address the UI issues around the conference title game for Conference USA and the Pac-12. And do they have the Pac-12 title game in? Okay, anyway, address the UI issues around Dynasty Team Select UI to appropriately respecting custom conferences moves. So I guess if you change conferences and you're picking the team in Dynasty mode, it would not apply. Updated text and team header and custom schedule screen. There you go. That's all the Dynasty mode updates. I can't say all because there's a lot of good stuff in there, but those are the Dynasty mode updates. Road to Glory. Added an additional scenario in NIL content. Fixed rare issues where you get a scenario reward screen that did not align with your received bonuses. Fixed an issue where users were getting skill points maxed out after completing a practice. I've seen that. I've seen some people go from like a 60 something overall to like a 90. Fixed a crash when quitting a position battle. Reworked wear and tear UI to show position and appropriate rating impacts. Oh, I did see the wear and tear UI is not, it's easy to read. Like now you just get like a list, like -16. It's not a bunch of -3 for this, -4 for that, it'll be like -16 break tackle. There you go. You don't got to do the math in your head. You can just see it. Fix an issue where you cannot equip a mental ability during Road to Glory player creation flow if you enter a settings menu during creation. I did not know that was an issue. Fix an issue where the meter mental progress is not tracked during bye weeks. Fix an issue where it is impossible to lose coach trust once you reach max coach trust. Fix an UI issue related to the display of coach trust when the user is close to max coach trust. Fix an issue where you cannot upgrade your player during bye weeks. Fix a UI issue related to the display of weekly energy in the meter screen. Fix an issue with mental goals not tracking correctly when reaching platinum correctly. Fix UI issues around text messages. Fix an issue where backing out of team selection step and Road to Glory creation can soft lock the mode. Wow, okay. I didn't know that was a thing either. Fix an issue where a player can continue to work on academics after graduating early. So a lot of these I have not encountered. Of course, I have seen, and everybody I think has heard about the skill points, and especially when you start off as the underdog story, and people all of a sudden are starting like week 6. So that is big. Here we go. Now we're going to College Football Ultimate Team, and I tell y'all, I've like turned on the mode and did like the tutorial type of training stuff, like. This is how you run the ball. This is how you pass the ball. And that's it. That's all I've done in Ultimate Team. So a lot of this stuff I'm going to just read, and I'm not going to have a lot of comments on this section because I don't know anything really about Ultimate Team mode. But here we go. Generating best lineup is no longer changes your equipped visuals and playbooks. That's funny though. Player portraits will no longer appear on non-player items after filtering or sorting. Fixed a crash that occurred during kickoff at halftime when playing champs. Attributes on the front of player items should update correctly after a player item has been upgraded. Fix an issue that was occurring when highlighting the renamed team tile on the UT hub. Fix an issue with Squads 3v3 that prevented 2 users from being able to connect to the game. Fix an issue with the orientation pack that was preventing new users from being able to upgrade their lineup and progress through orientation field pass. Fix an issue on the player profile screen that prevented users from being able to transition within the profile selections. Remove the green gavel icon appeared on owned items placed on the auction house. Fixed a crash with house rules. Touchdown tango that triggers when play clock reaches 0. Player items displayed on the new item screen no longer appear transparent when not highlighted. When viewing challenge details, the yardage marker is now displayed within the conditions. On the lineup screen, names of players and backslots contributing to chemistry should change in scale when highlighting a chemistry boost. Improve UI around attributes that are receiving chemistry boosts when viewing the attribute tab of the the item detail screen. Fixed an issue that causing long load transition in the new item screen during the first time user experience. I'm not gonna lie, this mode seemed like it was just broke, bro, with all these. The default star for challenges now displays correctly when scrolling down the play co-op list. Fixed an issue that was causing user error out the main hub when trying to access the auction house. Conference filters in the auction house now work correctly and fix stability issues for users entering Ultimate Team for the first time. Wow. Like I said, this seems like it was a lot of issues, but you know, this is the money maker. So I will fix it too if I was a company. So here we go. Now on the presentation, added new uniform pieces for Baylor, Oregon, Iowa State, Ole Miss, Vanderbilt, Bowling Green, Northwestern, UTEP, Boise State, New Mexico State, Appalachian State, Texas State, Louisiana, New Mexico, and South Alabama. So they get new uniforms. They also adjusted uniform pieces for the 2024 season for TCU, Arkansas, Missouri, and Baylor. So Baylor got a lot of love. We seen the leak yesterday. That's how we kind of knew this update was coming today. But Baylor got some love. Updates have been made to the following stadiums: the Holiday Bowl, Texas State, Kansas, Kennesaw State, Oklahoma State, Wake Forest, Louisiana Monroe, and Nebraska. They fixed an issue where the USC mascot would disappear during the opening ceremony. They fixed an issue where the incorrect mascot would appear during different situations. And they restored opening chants for Penn State, Florida State, Tennessee on the Xbox Series S. So solid improvements. Main one, of course, the new uniform updates. That's going to be big. And the final one is Road to College Football Playoff. So the tier rebalancing and reconstruction, changing the format from 3 tiers to 5. So before it was just 3 tiers. Now they have 5, so you could probably get more equal balance. I remember once I was trying to use Hawaii so I could play and mess around with the run and shoot, and I was playing Ohio State. Like, bro, this is not fair at all. So that is a very big patch. A very big patch. And I'm sure it's probably some small stuff and tweaks that maybe hasn't even been, brought to light in here. But this is a dub. This is a dub because Dynasty Mode, like I said, a little broken here and there. They fixed a lot of stuff. Sim issues being fixed is big for Dynasty Mode players. Trying to tweak recruiting, that's always going to be good. The awards changing, that's going to be good for me personally. The legal man downfield, so I can really get into my slow mesh bag. That is big as well. So y'all let me know. Y'all let me know if y'all messing around with this since the patch. Let me know you guys' thoughts on it. Let me know what you guys think about, just this current state of college football 25 at this point. I still think it's in a good spot. I'm enjoying the game. We know the release of Madden comes out in a few days, but this is a good patch to have. Very first one is a dub. So as usual, hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, please do me a favor. Go ahead, hit that like button. It helps me out a lot. Subscribe if you haven't already. It's DLloyd. I'm see y'all next time. Peace.